Hello traders, it's Wednesday and we got another new video for you. So once again, hello traders, I'm Simon from FTMO, and if you are new here, what we are doing is that we are providing initial balance to experienced traders that have been able to pass our evaluation process. And in this video, we are gonna do something a bit special because we are gonna look into some of the failed FTMO challenges. This first one is for $10,000 and is traded on MT5, so that's a bit different from majority of FTMO challenges. And basically the graph looks like this. So for the most part, this trader was doing quite alright until trade number 84 or 83. And from that point on, it went really downhill from there. And basically, this is not the end of the story for many traders, because some traders are able to get out of this, but unfortunately, this trader wasn't able to. And in these cases, you are really able to see if the trader is able to psychologically handle the stress that comes with a huge loss. And unfortunately, I think that this trader didn't handle it that well. And pretty much from trade 181, it was decided that this account will not be recovered. In the trading objectives, you can see that this took 22 trading days, which is not really relevant here because we don't know when was the account violated by either max daily loss or max loss. You can see that both are actually violated, but we are not sure which was the first one. This trader executed 183 trades using 44 lots, so that's not really unusual, that's pretty standard. Maybe the volume is a bit on a lower side. The win rate here is quite good, it's 61%, but the average risk-reward ratio is pretty low. In the daily summary, the volume is actually split somewhat nicely across all days. There are no huge spikes in either the volume, number of trades, or the profits and losses. So I think that in this case, it was really the stress that came with this loss. Regarding the instruments that this trader traded, there is gold, there are some forex pairs, and this is for the most part a day trader. There are no positions held overnight. Now immediately I see that sometimes this trader uses stop losses and sometimes not really, and I am not really sure what is the pattern here. So maybe there is an option to improve right here. Majority of the loss comes from the buys, and there is a net loss on selling as well. And if there is an instrument that perhaps this trader may avoid, it's gold. Of course, it's always up to the trader to decide if he or she wants to trade certain instruments or not, but clearly this is not a good result. So in this case, there is not a single thing that I would say is a cause of the violation in this account. Maybe it's the lack of stop losses and take profits. Maybe it's the stress that came around this trading period. We don't really know. But one thing that I would say is that even if you are in a loss, you should definitely stick to your trading plan and to your strategy, and if it's a good strategy, you will prevail. This is the second account. This is for $50,000. It's on MT4, and unfortunately there is not a single day that this account was in a profit. And right away you can see that there aren't that many trades. It's actually just 21 positions, so that's not too many. In this case it took 11 trading days, and unfortunately max daily loss and max loss are both violated. I have a feeling that in this case it was max daily loss first, but in the end both are violated, so it doesn't really matter. And down here we can see truly that this trader executed 21 positions using 25 lots. The win rate is super low, and so is the average risk-reward ratio. So unfortunately, I think that in this case it is just the strategy. In the daily summary, I cannot see a clear pattern. This trader is trading 1.5 lots per position for the most part, give or take one lot, I guess. And truly, we cannot really see that many profitable days. So perhaps I would personally, if this was me, reevaluate my strategy because that might be the cause. And what is very interesting here is that this trader sets up take profits and stop losses almost all the time, with an exception of this position right here, but otherwise it's like that. So I cannot see a clear mistake in the trading journal. Of course, if we were to look into MT4 at all of these positions, maybe we could see that the setup wasn't really that great, but we don't really know. There's a net loss on both selling and buying, but on selling it's way worse. And once more, the worst performance was on gold, then was US dollar and Swiss, and some more Forex. In this case, I would perhaps stick to trading just Euro and New Zealand dollar, not really other instruments, but who knows, maybe this is not a representative sample, maybe it's just one position, so it doesn't really tell us anything. So in this case, I would certainly reevaluate the strategy of this trader because it doesn't really seem to work. I would look into my entries and my exits and see what's up. And I just want to emphasize that in this case, the situation is very different from the previous trader, because in this case, it's most likely, I think, the strategy, I don't know for sure, but I think so, because these statistics are really not good. But in this case, it was probably due to this unfortunate situation and the psychological pressure, because clearly you can see that the win rate was there, but in this case, not really. This is for $100,000 and once again on MT4. The chart here is way more interesting because there are so many trades. There are actually 530 trades executed. In this case, the trader went through 22 trading days without violating max daily loss, which is really good, but unfortunately the max loss was violated, so there's that. Now I kinda feel like this trader was aiming to get his account balance to 0 or slightly above 0 to get his free repeat of the FTMO challenge, but unfortunately this didn't happen, so it was violated without this option. So as I already said, this is 530 trades using 411 lots. The win rate is alright, it's 63%. The average risk reward ratio could be better, it's 0.48, so definitely there is a room for improvement. And overall, this account didn't start with crazy amounts of volume, as is the case with some of the traders. In this case, it's quite the opposite. So early on, there is not high volume, but later on, there is way higher volume. So in that sense, it's not as consistent, perhaps, but otherwise, there is nothing really out of ordinary here. Now, when we look at the trading journal, sometimes the stop losses are set up, sometimes not really, but these positions are not really major ones, so let's not count these. So actually, for the most part, when you look at the important positions, stop losses and take profits, in fact, are set up. For the most part, this is a day trader, because swaps are not really paid, because you can see zeros here all the time. Well, with an exception of these two, but for the most part, I think that this is a day trader. He or she is trading Forex and gold once more, so that was the case with the previous 3 traders as well. In this case, net loss is achieved on selling and buying as well, and the worst instrument here is British pound and US dollar, followed by GJ. So once more, if there are certain instruments that perhaps this trader could avoid, it's these two. Now, overall, I am not sure what's the mistake here. Perhaps this trader overtraded, because you can clearly see that this trader traded for 22 trading days and at the same time used 530 positions, so that's quite a lot, I would say. Otherwise, I am not really sure. I cannot really pinpoint a single issue, as was the case with the previous accounts, but if you traders have any idea, you can leave that down in the comment section. Maybe one thing that came to my mind is that this trader was trying to achieve a positive balance and to really get that free repeat of the challenge, and maybe he or she got stressed because of that, but otherwise I have no idea. This is the last account that we are going to look at. This is for $100,000 on MT4, and overall the chart looks even more interesting. In this case, it was 316 trades, ended up in a profit, but unfortunately there was either max daily loss or max loss violated, I think somewhere around here. I just want to say that at this point this trader was halfway to achieving his profit target. So it's really unfortunate that from this point he went all the way down here with this huge dip. The trading period lasted for 21 trading days. Truly, max daily loss was violated and the max loss was not. and the profit target of course is not reached. So even though you can see profits right here, perhaps there is an open position, and because of that the profit target is like this. And it is really the case because equity is lower than balance, and of course we always measure the equity, it's more important metric. Number of trades is really truly 316, using volume of 450 lots, and the win rate is almost 70% with average risk reward ratio of 0.52. In the daily summary there is a slight inconsistency on these 2 days, but otherwise it's pretty consistent, with an exception of this day where the loss was really huge, and I assume that it was at this point that the max daily loss, or rather it was the max daily loss, was violated. What is very interesting is that this trader trades just gold. There is no other instrument in the trading journal, or at least on the last page of the trading journal. Unfortunately, no stop losses are set up once again, and for the most part still a day trader with an exception of few days. Interestingly enough, buying and selling are both profitable, but this doesn't really consider those open positions, so there is that. Perhaps this trader should avoid Euro Japanese yen, and perhaps this trader also should set up those stop losses. So I think that this trader should be more careful about that max daily loss, and perhaps setting up those stop losses can help. And with that, this is the end of the video, so I hope that you traders liked it. As always, subscribe to our FTMO YouTube channel, follow FTMO on all social media, and as always, trade safe.